Il passe à l'artiste. Super, encore un but sensationnel. That's a brilliant bit of follow-up play by Mahe. Oh my goodness me, what a shot.
Sagosen setter det hen! Han setter den! De er i semifinale igjen!
The Uninformed Handball Hour is back again for another EHF Euro 2022 podcast, and it wouldn't be a preview without us looking back to one of the best stories I think we've ever seen at a Handball Euro, and that was the rise of the Croatian national women's team to a bronze medal, which nobody expected, apart from us on the podcast, of course. We did call it, didn't we? My memory's a bit hazy, but I think we called it, didn't we?
We have an audio bed coming up later that will answer that question in no uncertain terms.
Let's listen to that in a little bit and just see exactly what we said at the time. I'm positive that I predicted some really good performances from Croatia, but let's see. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I remember. It took me so long to warm up to them. So by the time I warmed up to them, they were losing to France in the semi-finals. So that was maybe a bit late to jump on board. But it's a very simple question to start with you guys. What's some of the images you have in your head of, or memories you have of that tournament in Croatia? Because there's a lot of things to unpack, I think.
For me, it was Tia Pijovic catching those balls, making those phenomenal saves, and kind of standing out as a player who almost had a complete disregard for opponent shooting ability, particularly from the wings. That's one that I really remember. And we haven't really seen it since then, but for some reason in that championship, she was remarkable.
Yeah, definitely. I think it might be, to our listeners, it might be a bit weird why we're choosing one of the three kind of big preview podcasts to be on Croatia, but I think it relates to the memories we have of that tournament and the kind of splash of joy that Croatia brought to quite a dark time. A time where Brian was sitting in one hotel room for 2 weeks straight and listening to Croatia chanting in the next room. So I think it was the joy that they brought us in 2020 with that run. Their joy that was so infectious that they celebrated with dancing after each match. Their atmosphere that they brought to the whole tournament. It was something special. So I just want to relive that memory again. So that's why we're speaking to some really exciting guests on the podcast. So who do we have coming on, Brian?
We have, of course, Captain Fantastic Katarina Jezic, who will speak to her first. And then after that, we have a small chat or a short chat with All-Star from the EHF Euro 2020, Anna Debelic. And so, Brian, what did you think? Oh, thank you. I think my favourite memory would be the bronze medal match. I think that was probably the most surprising thing for me. I remember I had to go to Gothenburg, Sweden after I left the hotel. So I wasn't there for the final weekend, and we sat, Chris, and we watched that. And I remember us at the time saying that this was, I think, the best they looked in the whole tournament. And it's something we talk later to Katarina Jezic about. It would have been very easy for them to have, I wouldn't say down tools, but in terms of like they've made it to the semi-finals. They're in a bronze medal match that they've already exceeded everyone's expectations. But then to to go and push on and win that bronze medal was really special. And to beat a team like Denmark, of course, is no easy task. And I think that was probably the standout memory I had of them in that tournament.
Really, everything suggested that was going to be Denmark's bronze medal to take home with them. Because, as you said, Croatia were fairly spanked in the semi-final by France. And then you're like, okay, now they're maybe a little bit out of their depth. And Denmark really were pushing Norway. I think, if I remember correctly, in that semi-final, they were leading by 3 at halftime and then lost. And it was like, okay, they're at home. I mean, even if there's no crowd, they've got the home advantage. This is their medal to win. And then it was just an amazing second half performance in that bronze medal game from Croatia.
Okay, so let's jump in now to the interview with Katarina Jezic. But just before we do that, here's our infamous soundbed of Croatia's run to that bronze medal.
I think I'll start with an easy one and Croatia to finish last. Looking at their team and talking about what we talked about, young and inexperienced teams, they have the least experienced teams in this competition. They could surprise the world, but I don't think they will.
I can't see Croatia doing anything major this time around.
Croatia came into this championship having lost every game of the last 2 Euros, being one of the bottom-ranked sides every time.
Croatia have beaten Hungary. It's a huge victory for them.
I think that's a massive surprise for everyone. I mean, just going on how the Croatians are acting going into this tournament, they're here just having a good time. They're really relaxed. And they played today with absolutely zero stress.
We are beautiful and we play handball good, so it's...
But seriously, how have they done it? Can either of you explain how Croatia have 2 wins against 2 of the hotly tipped teams going into this competition, Hungary and the Netherlands?
They just are absolute fighters as well, you know, and they seem to be completely gelled as a group, and they're just not your normal bunch of international players. There's something a little bit different about them, and whatever they're doing, it's working so far.
Because no audience in the in the arena is it's our thing.
It feels like we are so mature when we are playing. I'm not stressed. I know if I will do some mistake, I know that Larissa is here. She will fix that. She will help me. And that's why I think we are not stressed, and that's why we have this good energy, because we totally believe in each other.
So they have a group of players there that know themselves inside out, upside down, backwards and forwards, and they're playing against these top teams who are you're probably catching them at the right time, and it's just this perfect storm of conditions for them to succeed. Maybe it's that, or maybe we're not giving them enough credit.
Teja Pijevic, as Alex mentioned, in goal. I mean, showing almost disdain for the Dutch wingers.
It's hard in Croatia because the guys from national team, they did so much, and because of that they won Olympic Games, World Championship, European Championship, and we didn't do nothing. And now we are doing something. I think this is not a lot, but I think for the people in Croatia it means something.
I think this is a start of a very nice future for women's handball in Croatia, and that we just need to focus on that. It's a good thing. We did a good thing on this Euro, and we just have to continue doing it.
Croatia, Netherlands or Germany to join Norway in the semi-finals?
We've said it before, and I will stick to the rule we made earlier in our podcast, and don't doubt Croatia.
I even don't know what to tell you now. What to tell to myself. What to tell. It's unbelievable. I don't know. What is this? If I'm dreaming, please, can someone wake me up? It's so good. It's so nice feeling. We are the example. Start from bottom, and now we are here. We are here, and we are fighting for this huge semi-final.
It's all over. Croatia have done it. What an incredible story. They have booked their place in the semi-finals of this EHF Euro in Denmark.
Katarina Jezic, thank you very much for joining us on the official EHF Euro 2022 podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here. I think we'll start maybe with before we went into the previous Euro, when us on the podcast will admit to you that we didn't give Croatia many or much hope going into the last Euro. And I think it's fair to say that not many people gave you much hope. What are your memories of going into the previous Euro as like the biggest underdog at the tournament?
First, when I start to think about the previous Euro, I get the goosebumps, because this has been a really incredible experience and incredible feelings we was going through, and such a team spirit I never tried before. So this is what led us to make a huge success. I remember so many things we did together, and we went through also so difficult moments because it was Corona time. So yeah, it has been hard in one point, but those things, it's not in my mind when I'm thinking at first. So yeah, I can just say I'm really proud of what we have done, and I think it will always stay in my mind like something special we did and make for our country.
And of course, you mentioned the team spirit, but it must have been really difficult. I just wonder how you managed to just get such team spirit straight away, even though there are so many difficult circumstances going into the tournament. And I think a statement came out from Croatia going into the tournament of, even when we were getting on the plane, we didn't know which players were going to be on the plane because of the COVID situation.
But honestly, all this team spirit was built by lockdown, because we didn't have any other options than being together and spending a lot of time together. And we didn't force anything. It just happened all naturally. Like we was painting all free time we had. We was painting, making our living room together where we were spending time before and after the games or any free time. So this is actually all what is going on with the lockdown and Corona and everything. It just made us became stronger and get to know each other better and feel each other better. Of course, when you are spending so much time together, you also speak about handball, and you speak about the tactic and things, how you want to be. And this is, I think, our strength in the end. The bad things going on was our strength, turn out like our strength.
And talk to me a bit about your personal role within the team. What sort of leadership do you think you brought to that squad?
I can just say I'm like so many years part of the national team. I started when I was 16. So it has been already 15 years I'm there, and I have the most experience. And of course, sometimes there are some rules you need to put in. You need to, keep the team together and solve the situations which are coming. You know, how is it with the girls? Sometimes can be some problems. So, I mean, basically, it's not so much I do. It's all coming naturally by being there so long time, knowing each other so long time, knowing the stuff and balancing the things. So I don't have any special role. At least I think I'm just like a captain, but we are all on the same page, and it doesn't matter who is the youngest. It's who is carrying the balls. We are, in my opinion, all the same, and everybody are having the same effect on the team in a good and a bad way. It doesn't matter. So I cannot say exactly what is my role. Maybe you should ask somebody else who is feeling what I'm doing. But for me, we are all the same.
But it still sounds like you enforce the rules. So you're still the one that's keeping everyone in check.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is my job to take some decisions. And this is the privilege in one point. And another point, I need to take also some risks and do what's the best for team. At least in my opinion, what's the best for the team.
And tell me a little bit about, how you progressed through the tournament. And in particular, of course, you got some big wins to start off with. Was there a point in the tournament where you were like, okay, we can actually do something big at this tournament?
I can just say we was living day by day, moment by moment. We didn't expect anything. We didn't think about anything big. But when it started like a first victory, we say, okay, at least one. And then the next day we say, okay, let's try one more time. I mean, the things are going good. We don't have nothing to lose. Nobody expects anything from us. We don't expect anything from ourselves. So we just go all in, and it was like this the whole tournament. I mean, every game, like, we wanted to win, but if we don't, nobody will kill us, nobody will judge us, nothing wrong will happen. So we was just happy where we are. We was just like children in the playing ground, smiling and enjoying what we are doing.
I think one of the most impressive things for me when I think back to this tournament from a Croatian perspective was the fact that you, first of all, made it to the semi-finals, but then after that difficult loss to Norway, that you were able to pick yourselves up again for the bronze medal match? Because in a lot of people's minds, you already accomplished so much by getting to the semi-finals. It could have been very easy for you guys as a group to just say, no, look, we made it to the semi-finals. Subconsciously, maybe not pushing yourself as much because you've already accomplished so much. But the fact that you're able to pick yourselves up again and win the bronze medal, I think was hugely impressive. How did you pick yourself up from that semi-final loss going into the bronze medal match? What did you say to the girls?
You're playing semi-final and you're going all in. But if you lose this game, there is still a lot to go on. And of course, nobody expected us to win in the semi-final and go in the final. Like nobody expected us to be there at all. It has been hard because the game was really tough, and it's not like you lost with 1 or 2 goals. You was close to it. It has been some more goals, so it's not like we was deep down. There was some little disappointment because we could do better, but we say to each other like, "Come on, we have never been in this situation," and it was almost like now or never. We was already writing the history by being in the semifinals. So it has just been easy to think like we will get this medal no matter what. If it will be bronze, silver, gold, we really didn't care so much. We just wanted to go for the medal, and everybody was on the same page. And I think this is the most important.
Yeah, and I think all the handball fans were also on the same page during that bronze medal match. I think everyone was cheering for Croatia, maybe except for the Danish fans. So it was a really, really amazing moment. And something that I'll remember forever, I think. And I can only imagine the memories you have from it. But kind of moving forward, a result like that, kind of going from, I actually just looked back at Croatia's history of, the results in the championship of, 16th, 16th, 3rd. That's a big, big step up. Does that bring more pressure for the team and for you kind of going into further competitions?
I would not call this like a pressure, but I would call it like we expect from ourselves more because we know we can do it. I don't feel pressure from outside. I can only say I feel support, but not the pressure. I don't know. I just want the things to be simple and day by day, not to think what is going to happen tomorrow. We are living in the moment and we should go with it, not overthink the things and just fight for what is ahead of you.
So taking this mindset that you had in 2020, I think it's been tricky to try and replicate that, for example, at the World Championship. But how are you going to try to bring this kind of, I'd say, fun and fearless mentality into the Croatian side going into the Euro?
Yeah, so the last championship we had, we actually get hit by Corona in the bad way. So everybody was affected, and we was living every day like in a fear what the Corona test will bring. And almost every time we did it, somebody was positive. So either the coach could not plan anything. We could not count on everybody. And it was really, really hard situation. Some of the players or actually staff was left in Spain after the competition because they get tested positive the day before we are supposed to travel home. So it has been really, really tough competition, totally opposite than the one in Denmark. But for the upcoming Euro, I believe now after all this vaccine and all this, we will be more safe with those things. So we will have a squad which we can count on and build it from there. I already say my goal, and I think our goal like a team, is to go game by game and pass the group, and after just enjoy and do what we love, because this is the only way to make success.
And what is your feeling going into this tournament? I think, of course, and what is the feeling about the squad, how it's come together and how ready it is to really get some results at this competition. Of course, the injury to Katarina Jezic is going to impact the team, but how is the team going to respond to that, at least?
Yeah, I mean, of course, Jamila, it's a big part of our team and also our spirit. She's missing a lot and we miss her so much, but her health is the most important, and all of us want her to be healthy and come back stronger. But in this situation, we just need to look on the squad what we have and think how we can put the things together. I still believe we have many talented and good players who can take this position. Of course, nobody can replace her, but somebody who can do different things and good things in this situation. Of course, I think there is girls who can play this position. Current squad, I believe Lokomotiva play now Champions League, and I think those girls get a lot of experience. And I'm so happy for Croatian handball that they develop. And it's also important for the national team, like I say, they are getting more experience. So now in the Europe, they will not be stressed as they would be if they don't have those games behind.
Yeah, it's funny because it's such progress from the Lokomotiva Zagreb team in general as well, because going into the last tournament, I think it was a European Cup that they won, and now to see the team in the Champions League, it just shows the progress of Croatian handball as a whole.
I'm so happy for Croatian handball and also for the national team that those girls are playing tough games and they are growing up in this environment. And of course, it's really important for the national team, and it will be so much easier for them to compete in the upcoming championship.
And for you personally, what's one thing that you really learned from 2020 which you want to apply now in 2022?
Everything is possible if you really believe in it.
I think that's something that all of us can take away. And I think we will not doubt Croatia ever again. We're always going to say going into the tournament that they can do anything. So I'm not making any predictions. Say good luck. And I think we're all behind you in this competition.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. We will do our best to make a surprise again and play the best handball and make all of you enjoy.
And also, in terms of the media side of things, your team was an absolute dream. When we think of all the viral moments you had with the one-hand saves, all the celebrations, and all the behind-the-scenes stuff, I think it was a pleasure in that regard as well. So I'm hoping for some good content also.
Yeah. We will do our best.
I was actually going to say, I thought Camilla would come along to the tournament as the number one fan and spirit of the team anyway, even if she's not playing.
I believe she will be behind the camera or maybe she will come and visit us. I don't know anything about it, but I know she will be our biggest fan and the biggest support.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
I think good memories for both of us there. First, memories for our podcast, and then some of Katarina's great memories and the great spirit during that championship. It really was the spirit of the team that drove it forward. And it was really interesting to see that the adverse situations were what brought them together. But then in the World Championships, the adverse situation tore them apart again. So I have no idea going in to a normal tournament with Croatia how they're going to do. How do you think their chances stand up, Chris?
Once again, they have a bit of an adverse situation because there's injuries that are plaguing the team a little bit again. Particularly Katarina Jezic, who is out with a third ACL injury, which is a real bummer for her. And there's a few other injury doubts as well. But overall, yeah, it's not like they can be complaining too much about the players they have. They still have fairly close to, I guess, a full squad. And yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to know what to expect from them. I kind of can't discredit what happened at the World Championship too much, even though they were torn apart by COVID. It feels like, okay, maybe that's the level that Croatia are supposed to be at. But on the other side, it's like, well, have we not learned our lesson about writing off this team? And yeah, it's a competition for them. I think they should at least get through the preliminary round. That is, I think, fairly certain.
Hold up there, because you're going to go through all the games, but that is exactly what we talked to Anna Debelic about. So she has become a real star coming from that championship, and it's going to be really important if Croatia have any chance of repeating their performance from 2 years ago in this championship. So me and Brian had a quick chat with her and spoke about their chances for a tournament.
We spoke to Katarina Jezic this morning, and she gave us a nice overview of the whole tournament. So we wanted to talk to you more about your personal connection with the last Euro and what it meant to you, and then what it's acted as a springboard basically for your career. So would you see the Euro 2020 as a turning point in your handball career?
It's changed a lot. After this, I got the offer from Vipers. So yeah, I think this medal gives me a lot.
And is that something you were expecting going into the tournament? Were you ready to kind of take a next step in your career, or is it something that just happened naturally?
I think it just happened. I couldn't know that this will happen. So it just came, and then in the end, I took it with two hands.
Like a good line player with two hands.
It's mine. Yeah.
But did you feel like during the tournament that, okay, I'm in a flow now and I'm really starting to play well? Did you feel like that going from game to game?
Yeah, it was like just game by game, and we were like, oh, we can play good. We are a good team. And then I didn't think, oh, yes, I'm good, so we will win or something. So it just come natural. How I say before in one interview, girls give me a lot of balls, I score, and in the end it was really good.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it, easy way of putting it. So when you saw that you got selected for the All-Star team, was that a surprise to you, or did you want that?
No, I didn't think about that. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, is this true? But okay, thank you. And then I was like, oh, nice. People can see that everything that you train gives for whole your life, and then in the end, woohoo! Yeah, I was really happy, but I didn't.
And how long was it after the Euro where you noticed that, okay, I have a lot more attention on me now, or things are starting to change? Or how long was the gap between you finishing the Euro and coming into contact with your new club, Vipers?
It was I don't know, in January. So it was quite fast after. Because, or we already start in December. I'm not sure. But it was fast after. Because I also, I need to decide if I will stay in Russia or no. So everything came so fast, and in the end I decided it's a big opportunity to go to try something new.
And how has it been for the last year with Vipers? You know, winning the Champions League, coming into a team that is just determined to win everything, and then maybe compare that to going into a tournament with Croatia where you're more of an underdog.
Last year with the Vipers was like a dream. 1 year of dream. Of course, in the beginning, for me was a hard, new teammates, new system, new country, everything. But in the end, I think it was an amazing year for all of us in the club. And of course, it's always different to play for a club and for a national team. So it's two different things. But yeah, I think in Vipers, I had a really good players. So I'm really happy that I had this opportunity to play with them. I mean, with Bella, Nura, Katrina, all others. But with the national team, of course, we have a good players, but we need to be honest, it's not the same level. Okay, don't say this, but you know what I mean. We have a young players. They need to have more experience. So, of course, we need to give our best.
So you must have a little bit of insider information now on Norwegian handball, which might come in handy for this Euro when you come up against Norway. What can you tell us, without giving your secret plan away, what could you do to slow down Norway at the Euro?
I don't know. We don't have a plan for now, but I joke with the girls, like, are you ready to lose? But I think, they're a really good team, long time together. But maybe if we will play slowly, we have a chance, because if we will start to run with them, I'm not sure if it will be good in the end. So let's say we will try to play as slow as we can. This is our technique. But my coach doesn't know. He don't know this yet, but I will speak with him.
Okay, we won't tell anyone, don't worry.
Don't tell to anyone.
But good, it is a pretty exciting group. You know, Norway, the team who are always the team to beat, but also Hungary in the group as well, which really, that game against Hungary in 2020 is what kick-started the whole tournament for Croatia. Do you think that's going to be a special game maybe from their side as well, thinking they want a bit of revenge?
I think will be a special game for both sides. They also changed a few players. We also missed some of them. So I think it will be tough. First game against Norway, sometimes it can be good. Like it's better maybe to start with some not so strong teams, not weak, but but also we can see where we are against Norway. So, and then after that, you need to come fast back, because I think where we can try to take some points is Hungary and Switzerland. So, yeah.
What do you know about Switzerland? Or do you know much about them at all?
There you can buy a really good chocolate. I don't know a lot for now, but I'm sure that we will prepare and we will analyze the game. So we have still time.
And then what is kind of for you personally, if you're saying, okay, where do you hope to reach with Croatia in this tournament? How do you hope to play? Are you looking at a medal, or do you want to beat Norway? What's the ambition level here?
I want to pass to the second round, and then we will see. Because on the last championship, we also didn't have any ideas that we will win one goal or the medal, bronze. So I think we need to go again step by step, because we show again that on the World Championship that we can also play really bad. So I hope that we will give our best and pass to the second round.
We had a great time watching Croatia's journey to the bronze medal last time out. It was a very entertaining journey for all of us, and we got a lot of our predictions wrong thanks to you girls. So we won't be doubting you this time out, because that would be foolish. But best of luck for the tournament, and then we might see you on the road there somewhere.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna Debelic. So, Chris, Alex interrupted you before you were about to launch into your prediction about what you think Croatia can do at this tournament. So maybe you can now finish those thoughts.
Right. So, game one against Norway, they're going to lose.
Big words already. New sound bed coming up.
Well, same as Anna, to be fair. So
yeah,
that's why I said it nice and clear, so it can be used in another hilarious sound bed. Then Hungary, I think that's going to be the crucial one for them. I would say they have a really good chance of winning that. Hungary are hungry these days, and that means everything and very little at the same time, because you think you know what you're going to get from them, and then who knows what Hungary team comes out. But I think Croatia, particularly with, there's a lot of connections there, players who've played in Hungary. They know, I think they have a bit of a psychological advantage over them. And I guess a little bit depends on how Hungary do against Switzerland in the first game. So they could win that one, and they almost certainly should beat Switzerland in the final game. So they'll go through to the main round, and then they face three teams that come from the group of death, really: Denmark, Slovenia, Sweden and Serbia. And I don't think they'll get any further than that.
I'll say that Croatia are going to win the whole thing and protect myself on that one.
It does really feel like that game against Hungary is almost like going to be a very quick cup final. It almost comes down to that, doesn't it? And with Hungary now missing Noemi Hafra, who had an ACL injury, unfortunately, it's good. That's a big loss for them as well. So I think it's going to be a close game, I'd imagine. But I'd probably be leaning towards actually Croatia, maybe taking that one. And yeah, as you said, Chris, you'd imagine they will be strong favourites against Switzerland.
I think the key thing for them in this whole championship is also the Croatian fans getting off their backsides and making the trip to Ljubljana, because that is it's a very short trip over for a lot of Croatian fans. And if they get behind the team in a similar way to the men's national team. And I remember that was a big thing we talked about with the players 2 years ago as well. I remember when you were talking to them in the hotel, Brian, and they're like, we want this to be the first step towards something. And maybe for this team now, it's not always about, getting bronze medals again. I think they're maybe a bit more realistic than that, but it is about building something for the next generation of players to come through as well. And part of that is also the fans buying into it. And this is the first big chance for fans in Croatia to go and show their support for the team that 2 years ago in what was a dire situation around most of the world with COVID, that they gave them a lot of positivity. So let's see if the fans pay them back.
Well, I think it's going to be one of the exciting groups. We'll have more previews coming your way. Some big names. If you don't follow the Uninformed Handball Hour already, follow us on your favorite platform. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. And we'll be there for the next couple of weeks in the build-up to the EHF Euro 2022. So thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Alex.
And thank you, Brian.
Thank you, boys.
See you again.